Yabba Dabba, don't watch this movie. We're here with another episode of Cartoon Buffoons. I'm Wyatt, and who is my guest, or not guest, other co-host?
Co-host. What's up?
Yeah.
It's me, Morgan. I'm like Miranda from As Told by Ginger, but out of the closet.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about Flintstones on the Rocks. I decided to choose this one because instead of Johnny Bravo, because the guest that we have for Johnny Bravo asked if we could have a little bit more time, before recording. So we gave them a couple weeks. And I was like, okay, what are we going to do in the interim? I got it. This shitty Flintstones movie. Let's do it. And then it backfired. Again, this is another episode where, like, I have no idea how long this episode is going to be. Who knows? It could be like 35 minutes. It could be an hour. It could be 20 minutes.
In a beautiful world, maybe it's 13 minutes of us just going, this fucking sucked, and then we just move
Yeah,
on.
and then we go home. And then I leave because it's about like 85 degrees here, and I'm in my office, confined in my heat box inside of my office with all the soundproof foam, and the windows are closed and the door is closed. So if we spend too much time in here, I'm gonna die. Basically.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be fine. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Okay, before we get started, Morgan, what is your history with Flintstones?
Oh,
the property.
So my history with the Flintstones is so I have a tad bit of the insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't something that I got in my 20s like a lot of people did. I had this issue when I was like maybe 12, 10 even. And my biggest memories is being with my mom on the like couch in the living room where I can't sleep. And Cartoon Network back in the day used to play the Flintstones late at night before Adult Swim was like big, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I remember vividly like episodes of the Flintstones. They used to be like the signifier of I stayed up too late. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was a weird show. I thought like the humor is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Cause like guys, sometimes rocks are just that's it. The humor is just rock something else. And I want to say that's not funny, but also I don't know. It's a little
Kinda
funny.
It's
It's kind of
kinda
funny. Let me get my rock top. Also,
Yeah.
when you've seen the Flintstones, you know that like every shithead who makes an adult cartoon about a man with his wife also saw the Flintstones, because the Flintstones is just Family Guy, that's just American Dad, that's just King of the Hill. It's insane how
and The
much those
Simpsons.
shows are. Yeah, and The Simpsons. Isn't how much those shows are just the Flintstones again. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it almost makes me want to watch the Flintstones like as like a homework, sort of like, oh, I gotta track the history, but I don't. Here's the thing that's weird about me compared to other cartoon nerds on the internet. I'm not like that big of a fan of any of those shows other than maybe King of the Hill. I would consider myself like, oh man, I love King of the Hill. But like The Simpsons, I've watched a lot of it recently, but I was, I watched
that's because you're not
some
British.
stuff as a kid. Yeah.
If you were British, you would love The Simpsons.
Sure. And like family, like those things I watched like when I was a kid for sure, like when they were rerun to death. And then recently like going back and rewatching them, but like I don't consider, it's not like a part of my identity like it is for some people. I don't quote The Simpsons all the time.
Yeah, me neither.
And everything.
I think the closest I get to doing that is and I hate to expose myself here. Every so often, I'll throw on an episode of American Dad, and I'll get really mad how funny it is. I'll get legitimately angry how funny American Dad is consistently, and I'm just like, dude, fuck off! You can't be this funny. I get so mad, and I think what made it worse was Tunerific Tyreek like always is like throwing in like a Family Guy is good, American Dad is good in his videos. And I was like, well, that can't be true. And then every time I go back and watch, I'm like, motherfucker, it's true. Damn it. And I get mad.
So with the Flintstones, my history is I like their cereal.
Good cereal.
Yeah, good cereal, good push pops. I enjoy those. Vitamins, and that's it. Okay, so, I think I have seen the live action movie maybe one time.
I've seen that a few times because of Halle Berry. I think that's one of Halle Berry, right? Yeah.
Yeah. To go off what you're saying though about like the insomnia, I remember like as a kid, like being very young and also having like problems of, like going to sleep and like staying up all night and everything. And at that point we didn't have cable, so it would just be like watching like ABC or whatever, and then there would be like DuckTales or the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh or whatever, like on in the middle of the night before, we finally like drifted off to sleep with like the Sonic cartoons, like Sonic Underground and shit like that.
Yeah.
Those are like some of my earliest memories, is like staying up watching that. And then like Cartoon Network late at night though, like pre-Adult Swim, I remember like the Midnight Run. I remember like Yu Yu Hakusho.
Me too.
Which is, that was something that like Nikki and I really bonded over, was like that idea of like seeing that for the first time, especially like later on, like getting to episodes like the Chapter Black and Three Kings stuff, where it like felt like, oh my god,
what is this? Should I be watching this? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the show's getting really dark now. Yeah. But yeah, so anyway, this movie, Flintstones on the Rocks, I kind of had high hopes for it, for whatever reason, just because it's like, okay, we've seen this group of people, these like the Two Stupid Dogs and Dexter's Lab guy, like the same general group of people, make funny stuff using the conventions of Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
This is them literally taking a Hanna-Barbera show and like trying to modernize it, which is like right before Adult Swim started to do that. With like Harvey Birdman and everything. And it's, of course, Space Ghost kind of predates them all.
Yeah.
Flintstones, though, is a very particular show because, as we talked about, it kind of follows a shitty husband and like a beleaguered wife. So,
but let's keep it clear, not too shitty.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna say. It's still a comedy. It's still supposed to be like for families and everything, and it's still a cartoon. So like, he's like an obnoxious doof, but he's not like a complete
devil
asshole.
Like,
yeah. Whereas like, to me, and this is I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound like an obnoxious internet cartoon reviewer, but it really did just feel too mean-spirited for its own good.
And the thing is, so me, Morgan, who loves mean-spiritedness, right? I watched the first, like the beginning thing that before the credits and stuff hit of this, and I was like, "What are we doing?" And like, literally, this thing opens up, hitting you in the face with like this. Guys, what's peak comedy? I don't know.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the old ball and chain. This evil bitch is ruining my life. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Who made this? And then I don't want to get too far into it because we're going to talk about the whole thing. But the minute you just messaged me while you were watching it, after I watched it, that Chris Savino co-directed and wrote this, it all slipped in place. I was like, okay. A man who couldn't hold a wife if his life depended on it. This is all coming together.
Sorry about that. If I forget to edit this out, then it's because we had an audio issue. Anyway, with Flintstones, I don't know, the appeal to me of any show like this, like a Simpsons or a Family Guy or Dinosaurs or whatever the hell, that's going for this sort of honeymooners
like vibe,
reference, vibe, is that like the male present is like a buffoon and is like insensitive, but he is like a funny, cheerful guy. Like you can see why
she
the
loves
wife wants to be with him.
Also, like he also can't be like aware he sucks. I think the minute they become aware they're the worst. Like, okay, in real life, real life, being unaware that you're hurting your partner and being and sucks is awful. Don't be like that. Please be aware of what you do. But I think if we're in a cartoon and you say things that you are aware will hurt your wife, I can't laugh anymore. I am now at the point of like, like there's between like Peter like trying to make something on the roof and falling through the roof of the house and crushing a bunch of stuff, and it's funny. And Fred looking at the camera and going, "I hate my fucking bitch wife." Like I'm like, hold on, let's take a minute. Like
it just feels like it was just like a misfire. Like they just didn't get this cartoon from the fucking when JFK was alive. Like I don't understand how they didn't. And like I said, these are like talented people.
And Chris
now let's address the elephant in the room. Talking about Chris Savino again. We will talk about him again because of Dexter and like Powerpuff Girls and everything. Like the later seasons. Maybe we should just do one episode that's both the later seasons of Dexter and Powerpuff Girls, and just it's
called the crucifixion of Chris Savino, and we just talk shit about.
Just be fucking done. Yeah, just be fun. At this point, we should just do a Loud House episode too. Like we should just get it all out of our system.
We do it on videos. We throw bricks through his window.
But yeah, so I'm getting fucking sick of this guy. You know, I'm sick of fucking bitching about him every single week.
The Always Sunny. I've had enough of this guy.
Yeah, we gotta get him out of here. But that's the thing. Like, I was expecting for me, you know, like, you like, okay, it's about the marital problems between Fred and Wilma. Like, yeah, I guess that's a good thing. And then it's gonna be like funny, right? You're gonna like fill it with jokes, and it's like all the jokes are just Fred is an asshole. So it's like and none of the jokes come from like anybody else really. Like it's like maybe Barney has like a few.
Barney and his wife love each other, and that's the joke. That how do they do it? But also, I think the worst thing is that like even like if it's a misunderstanding or on the rocks, I think the fact that like every 14 minutes. He's like, man, I wish I was cheating on my wife. Is another weird bit that keeps showing up in this fucking thing. Like, oh shit, there's a woman here. My wife's asleep. Dude, what if I was fucking her? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What do you mean?
Yeah, and that makes it so that like at the end, when Wilma like is being hit on by that guy, and you're like, oh, is she gonna blah blah blah? Like that's less. It's like. It's supposed to be like, oh my god, I can't believe she's doing this, when it's like, well, fuck Fred, because he was already doing this, you know, without her knowledge, and she still had the wherewithal to be like, yeah, well, I'm married, so unfortunately, you know, like that kind of thing.
And he was trying his hardest to cheat. Like he didn't even care he was married. Also, man, I feel like we're gonna get through too much of what we're talking about here. So the thing is though, let's say something nice. It looks good.
Yeah,
I think they put the modern like Cartoon Network style here but keeping it Flintstone styles is really good here. I think what's funny is that like I think more of these not made by these people could have been good in the future. Like I think we could have did more of these later on that would have kicked ass. But this one's just really fucking bad, so we will never get one. Like, I guess the closest is the secret squirrel from Two Stupid Dogs, but like...
That's like that is very similar to that, except for that was good. But
and this sucked.
The thing with this, again, that I really just want to keep harping on is that, like, I don't understand how people with so much talent, like, they have proved themselves to be funny and capable, how did this get through several layers of like bureaucracy and then get created, and nobody was like, this kind of sucks. Like, this isn't.
It didn't come out, so
like,
I guess someone later on realized.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it came out, it aired, and they were like, fuck, was bad. Like, we can't air it again. So it's like they realized then they had so many. It's animation. There were so many times in production that they could have been like, we cannot air this, or we have to like change it significantly. I think this is one of the problems that you can come to expect when a company does sort of have, like, Cartoon Network in the early days had a very hands-off approach to creating these shows and sort of like giving the keys to the creators and fostering that kind of atmosphere.
We got a George Lucas thing happening here. There needed to be a little oversight happening here. Like,
yeah.
Like, I think another thing here, and I don't want to be that person, right? This smacks of no women working anywhere around on this thing.
Yeah.
This bleeds that there were no women in the room. Just like, hey guys, just wanted to say, Fred sucks, and not like in a funny, haha, cartoon shithead way, but like in a, she should get the kids and run away from this man. Sucks. Yeah. That, like, it's also like not to go on timeline stuff. Where is this like from when what the fuck are the name of those Flintstone kids? Pebbles and Bam Bam. Is this when they were like in college? Because they're not like, in this. Like,
yeah.
Do you remember the Pebbles and Bam Bam college show?
Yeah, of course I do, because I watched a lot of Boomerang. So there's a lot of like shitty. Here's the thing. I said before that like we're not doing like random Hanna-Barbera shows. This was produced by Cartoon Network Studios, so even though it is a Hanna-Barbera like property, so I feel like it's on the
the list.
Yeah, it's on the list. I do want to shout out, I saw a comment from like just a couple months ago from somebody on the page on archive.org where we watched this. Fuck Chuck Wendig. Just got to say that every time archive.org is brought up, donate to archive.org and fuck Chuck Wendig. It's his fault. But anyway, a person was like, congratulations, Chris Savino. You managed to make Seth MacFarlane's canceled Flintstones reboot more faithful by comparison.
Yeah.
I don't even remember why I supported Chris Savino in the past. I thought what he did to Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls and even Johnny Test was bad. They're all nothing compared to what he did to the Flintstones. Not helping was the fact that the movie was made by the same guy who created The Loud House on Nickelodeon, which honestly doesn't hold up today. Which is a funny statement because the show's not that old.
Yeah, like...
But it's also like
correct.
It is also eight years old at this point, so it's like fuck.
It's a statement that like it's like, oh, the show's not that old, but also I think you're objectively correct. So I don't know what to say to you.
Yeah, if any Nickelodeon fans are listening to this podcast and they hear us shit talking The Loud House, it's okay.
Go fuck yourself. I mean, it's okay.
But anyway. I just wanted to break, like, that review goes on. It's like quite a long review, just like kind of
Doug Walker
angrily like angrily ranting about how much like that the movie sucks and it like flanderizes Fred and makes him like into an asshole.
He's gonna take you back to the past now.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's the wrong
shitty movie. That's to watch the shitty movie that sucks ass. Yeah. But like, here's the thing. Fred, I always appreciated Fred. And I feel like a lot of Flintstones comedy, like Flintstones being like a family thing, makes sense as with Fred and Barney, because it's like two guys in their like 40s and they're like, one is like kind of like silly and dumb and the other one's like, come on, man. You know, it's just like a lazy sort of work-a-day guy. And like, as soon as you're like, all right, we're going to be a little bit more adult and edgy. We're going to tackle the relationship. We're going to tackle like the fact that Fred hasn't had sex with her in a long time. And hasn't kissed her and everything. We're gonna like tackle this stuff head on. You know, and they're gonna go on a honeymoon, or not a honeymoon. They're just gonna go on an anniversary vacation. But here's the thing: it's just like, I don't know. They took Space Ghost and they made him into what he is with Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's obviously a complete departure from Space Ghost, the superhero. But like, why does that work? And then taking Fred and making him like
a
super
sexist, evil
sexist,
dude, yeah,
like super racist, like all this stuff.
Oh, we haven't talked about how fucking racist this thing is. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay. Where the fuck do they go on their vacation?
Rockapulco.
And there is the Roxicans, I think is what he calls them.
Yeah.
And the running goof is Fred keeps calling this bartender every racist name possible except for his own. He calls him Paco. He calls him Juan. And it keeps going. And let me tell you what, it's just not funny ever.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And the last scene we get with Fred and this guy, Fred goes, you know what? Finally, one of the good ones. And I go, Chris Savino, what's happening at home? Because the thing is, though, this isn't the first nor last time Chris Savino has a weird thing
with Mexican people specifically, you know. Like, guys, I'm trying to think. Lest we forget last episode where he talked about the Casa Grandes.
Yeah.
That whole show where he was like, oh man, what if my self-insert little boy character had like a Mexican girlfriend, and then like, you know, and then I can put all my does he have, it's like, is his wife Mexican? I don't know, like, and he just wants to, he has like a weird thing and he just wants to like make fun. I don't know what's going on with this guy.
He woke too close to the sun and now he's just fucking insane.
Yeah. But yeah, this like, to me, like, that's, I don't know, this is almost you know what I was kind of thinking of with Fred and Barney specifically was that it was like Shake and Meatwad. Like, that's, I was kind of thinking of that, because it is like Shake is like equally horrible as Fred, but also like, I don't know, one that's an 11-minute cartoon.
Yeah.
So you get it in
also,
short
Shake
bursts.
fucking gets murdered at the end of most episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the characters, like, die or explode or whatever. Like, Carl dies and, you know, all this stuff. It's such a, like, nihilistic Dada-type show that it's, like, you're not supposed to care about the characters. This is supposed to be a story that's about the growth of Fred, of like, he needs to learn how to appreciate his wife.
But he really doesn't.
You know,
he just saves her from bad. Yeah. I think the issue of why this doesn't work compared to like other things that change stuff is, one, listen, sexism aside, it's just not funny. Like, I don't know, dude. I can watch the single most racist episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and it's gonna make me laugh. I'm like, all right, come on, guys, but I'm gonna laugh. Yeah. This thing at its core just isn't funny. That's the first issue.
And like Venture Bros, you know, like Rusty, terrible person.
But he's hilarious.
You know, he'll make a lot of sexist comments and you know, racist comments and things like that. But then it's just like, he's such a fucking loser, and the world knows. Like, the world does not reward him for those actions and everything. And it isn't, you're not like, I don't know, like, it's just a different skill of writing. I just think that, like, I don't know what the fuck went wrong here. I just don't think. I just, like, I know we should talk Chris Savino, but, like, there's no way he's this bad.
I don't know.
That it just.
Let that motherfucker draw. Stop letting him write anything, dude.
Yeah.
Something about Christians. I don't want, like, not like normal Christians, but something about, like, him and Bitch Fartman's, like, specific brand of deep super Christian is just non-indicative to comedy. I don't know. I don't want to keep making fun of him, but they keep putting him on projects that everyone liked before, and they keep fucking making him suck. So how about this? When you stop doing that, Chris Savino, I'll stop being mean to you, you fucking sex pest. Like, I don't want to fucking... Dude, this is easily the most hateful episode we've done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is like because like we were pretty mean to some of the pilots,
but we saw like the worth of them. We were like, oh, but you know,
yeah.
But
in general, that episode, like we had positive thoughts on like the Nikki pilot and things like that, and then like other episodes were negative, like Two Stupid Dogs and like Moxie. We were still like,
there's still stuff to be.
Oh, there are still good things here, you know. And then you talked about Secret Squirrel and everything. This one is like I really can't pull out anything positive other than the animation.
Yeah, it looks
and the character designs.
It's good. Yeah,
I like that scene where it's like stop motion for some reason.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. That was really cool. Yeah,
that was very similar to like Chowder, you know, how that would use like a mixed media approach. And in general, like the character designs and everything do kind of
it's a perfect blend, dude. It's a good blend.
Yeah. And it is sort of going towards that like Billy and Mandy, you know, like that Cartoon Network era. Which is just very like Billy and Mandy, also very mean-spirited,
but also funny
show. Yeah, it's like like that's the thing is that I think that this was like a neat experiment. Like you wanted to take this old show and like see if you could truly do like a marriage story type thing with it. But the problem is like Fred isn't funny because he's such a huge asshole. Wilma is just a nag. Like she's not funny or endearing. Like I don't know what you would need to do to like make it work, but she doesn't have enough depth for it to feel like...
Yeah, like, okay, I think it's because, again, no women worked on this. They don't have her have, like, gripes that make sense. Mm-hmm. Like, she's like, I just want to spend time with my husband. And I'm like, why? He's a giant cock.
Yeah.
Like, I think she needs to have, like, things she wants... Like, listen, I know it's played out. You could give her, like, maybe she wants to, like, if you want Fred to be sexist and learn something, have her want to get a job or do something else. Have her want to do something and he doesn't like it. As it is right now, the only friction is they both suck. That's not a way to move forward. There's no way to move past both of them just sucking shit. There has to be something there. And the thing is, we see this all the time in the modern versions of these shows. Like American Dad, like in like Family Guy, they're not just going like this. Well, Peter sucks, Lois sucks, we're done. Like that might be a joke episode, but when there's episodes with like legit conflict, there has to be a conflict. And there's like a fucking bank robbery plot. That's the conflict. Fuck this thing, dude. I don't want to hate it.
Yeah. See, my biggest issue with the whole Wilma thing is that it's like, because she's so underdeveloped, it makes it feel more like the thing is on Fred's side.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's like, it shouldn't be, right? Like, logically, it's like, oh, clearly he's in the wrong. You know, like he's being an asshole. And that's kind of like what it feels like for the most part. But because she has so little... like
character.
You know.
It feels like you gotta go with her, go with him, because he's like at least a guy.
Yeah. And like, man, it just... I don't know. There's some memorable moments in this. Like I said, the stop motion stuff, the like... I think beginning it with like the marriage
counseling. Honestly, I think if the marriage
they should have got was it like as far as mean-spiritedness.
If that was just a short and that was the whole thing, I think that would have worked really well as like a very small short of like, here's why their marriage doesn't work in therapy, and we could have been done. I would have said, you know what, that was fine. It was funny. It was quick. It was done. But an hour of my life, an hour of my existence.
Spent.
There's one more thing I have to say about this. I don't know if it's important. Shout out to Kevin Michael Richardson for being a really good Barney Rubble. I don't know. That's like just stuck out to me because he's such a good voice actor. I'm like, he can do it all. That's literally like the one thing that I kept rotating in my brain in order to feel anything for this fucking thing.
Yeah, because like usually they typecast him as like the Bulkhead in Transformers Prime, and like it's like a big deep voiced characters. Whereas like him as Barney, he's got this voice, you know, he's got the like Chicago whatever kind of like dude accent, and it works really well. And that's also like, I know he was Kamek in the Mario movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, sometimes he can do like, he has like range.
He
like,
does, yeah, because he has one of my
just
favorite Joker voices in the Batman. Like, he's
yeah.
super
Oh, man,
talented.
yeah.
Like, he shouldn't have been in this. He should have been doing something that was good. I think anywhere else.
This is like an early, because I remember starting to notice Kevin Michael Richardson more because of like Samurai Jack and the Batman and things like that, like where he would be like smaller roles in those, whereas like this is kind of early on, you know, this might be like a little bit early on in his career, because I don't know how, like, he didn't really have that much presence in the 90s, you know, as far as
yeah, he started getting like all
his
his big money later on.
I feel like before him was like Keith David with Goliath and Gargoyles and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I mean, Keith David, great. Goliath has such a good voice.
Sexy little voice, man.
Yeah, exactly. Man, Gargoyles, that's such a good show.
What a good show. It's such a good little sexy show.
Yeah, fucking.
She was fucking that gargoyle, bro.
Yeah, I know. And she deserves it. She is pretty hot. But speaking of pretty hot, I do have to give a shout out to the scene where Wilma is trying to seduce Fred.
Of course you do.
You know, and it's like,
God.
well, because I just like whenever the horny animators at Cartoon Network get to be like, yeah, you know. So
everybody in there holding like one hand, animating this whole fucking scene.
Yeah, that's. Like, I kind of wish it was more horny. Like, I wish it was more.
Honestly, I think it would a funnier thing that we could have made is instead of them hating each other, they go on this vacation to try to find time to fuck, and they keep getting interrupted. Yeah, that would have been great for an hour. I would have did that. I would have.
Yeah, if it was like marriage console at the beginning, then we see their home life, and it's like, why haven't we fucked in a long time? And then, you know, like Pebbles is like breaking holes in the wall or whatever.
Like she comes home from college, whatever. Yeah, like.
Yeah. Or it takes place, you know, when she's just a baby. So it's like, you know, causing chaos in there, or she's like 2 or whatever, you know, like, you know, a little bit older than a baby. So they're like, oh, we need a vacation, you know. So they give her to like whatever nanny, and then they go off on, you know, on the vacation trying to fuck, and then like
the robbery happens, and then other like
the robbery happens, or like Betty and Barney are like, oh, come on, let's go see this location or whatever, and then like they just keep on getting like blue balled.
We just
something like that.
We just pitched the better one. We just did it. We alone
That's the thing,
right
is
now
that,
just
like,
pitched the better one.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that thing where you're like, oh, I could do better than this.
Oh,
which
it's
is
Chris
not...
Savino. I'll say it.
Yeah, sure.
I very rarely will I say shit like that, but I believe it.
Yeah. In this case, I'm just taking the elements of this movie and trying to configure them into something that's like good, that captures that is even more, because this feels very very like juvenile in a way that a like entitled dude in a relationship is.
Who's seen it for that divorce. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah. You know, where it's like, it doesn't feel like something like, oh, there's friction in a relationship, but it's rooted in the fact that, you know, they aren't as intimate anymore. Like, that to me feels more mature. Yeah. Than it is just like, my bitch wife won't leave me alone. Yeah, you know, like that. Like that is just, you know, like, again, like I can kind of see that they're supposed to be like, oh, isn't this ridiculous? You know, they're both horrible, so who cares? But it just doesn't work. It's just like, yeah, well then I don't fucking care. I don't. Yeah, like, why am I watching this? I hate Fred. You know, Fruity Pebbles, great cereal. You know, never gonna and Cocoa Pebbles too. You know, throw them in there. I'm all for it, baby. But if this is the Fred, if this is the real side of Fred, then fuck Fred. I don't need him. You know, that's fine.
I think. I guess that's it.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else.
Unrelated. We will be seeing more of Kevin Michael Richardson, because I looked this up while talking about this, because I was curious about, like, oh, what else has he been in the 90s? When I tell you this motherfucker voices a delirious amount of Powerpuff Girl characters, I mean that. Okay. Like, a delirious amount. This motherfucker was getting that paycheck. He's also all over OGA cartoons. Like, he was working his ass off.
Yeah, that is probably why, like, because he was, like, an up-and-coming... I know, like, was it Grey Delisle who was Betty? Like, that's what it sounded like to me, was her as Betty, and then, like, Kevin Michael Richardson as Barney, and then, like, what is it, Jeff Bergman, the guy who's still Fred, and also, like, Yogi... and whatever
it was Grey Delisle, as Betty. But yeah, I think also apparently he is still like Barney. He was like in a thing from a few years back for Cartoon Network of Barney. He's still Barney. That's sick. It's great that this guy has like grown his career so much, and he's still like, yeah, I'll be an Uncle Grandpa. Fuck it. Like,
or was it what was that fucking? Was it Yabba Dabba Dinosaurs? Is that the thing that you're talking about, or was it something else?
I'm not up to date on my my Flintstones.
Sure. I know, but that was a show that like was announced a long time ago, and then like came out like immediately, was just like shat into existence on HBO Max, and then forgotten about forever. I don't know, there you go, modern Flintstones thing. Anyway. We're done with this. I'm sorry.
Guys,
I am sorry, fan.
We're going to watch a banger. I swear to God, we're going to watch a banger soon.
It's just... What's the next episode? Cow and Chicken. Oh, no.
Okay. We eventually will watch a banger because, I don't know, maybe Cow and Chicken has gotten better over the years. I'm looking into the camera and shaking my head. I'm shaking my head.
Yeah. Here's, like, I pitched the idea of doing Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel, like, just as one episode, just because it's, like... Because the shows came out like back to back.
How many?
And they're like by the same guy.
How many episodes of each of those are there?
There are like 4 seasons or whatever. There's a lot, but if you don't want to
no, we'll do it. I just want everyone to know, when you guys see me in the news as I've gone to New York to murder a very close friend of mine for years, it's because I had a massive breakdown watching 4 seasons of Cow and Chicken. But
they record now.
But yeah, I hope everyone had a good time watching us talk about Flintstones on the rocks.
All right, well, I guess that'll do it for the episode. Morgan, do you want to tell us where we can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Girl Next Vor on Tumblr and other places, even TikTok. I post art on TikTok, not often, but I do. I'm also on Twitter. It's a secret. You have to find me. And hopefully in the next 2 months, I have a project coming out that is not related to cartoons. Very different than that. But if you enjoy vampires, you might enjoy this thing. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, if you want to check out more episodes of this podcast and also get to the next one, if you're listening to this on the free feed, if you want to get the next one right now at the $5 level, you can go donate at It's Only Magic at my Patreon. You can get this podcast a week early. You can get access to the OKKO podcast that I do with my friend Buster. You can get access to the fucking Doctor Who and Stephen King shit that I do with Cody, which is a good time. And at the $1 level, if you only got $1, I still appreciate it because you get Wow Cool Ropod, which is me and my friend Wayne, aka Bolt Creature, going through every single robot in existence and reviewing them. 10-minute episodes, very kind of short form stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And then if you want to check out my Twitter, it's WazBranger, WAZP Ranger, mostly Stream of Consciousness stuff, but I do hawk my YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on the YouTube channel, you're here. If you're listening to it on Patreon, go on over to It's Only Magic on YouTube. And then you get these on the free feed. But all right, thank you for listening to us complain about this movie for like 30 minutes. I think next, I think it will be good. I think we'll have, especially because we're gonna have a guest for the next episode, you know, and it'll be fun. Like, even if we don't have much to say about the cartoons themselves, yeah, we'll have a good time. So, all right, join us next time. We're gonna talk about both Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel. See you there.